Welcome back to Point Counterpoint on this Wednesday, the 18th day of December in the Lord's year 2024. Thank you very much for joining us today on Point Counterpoint. We in our last conversation, we talked about the $16 million fund or damages that Disney chose to give to Mr. Trump. You should listen to that because Dennis has some good legal facts that kind of need to be dropped in there. Now I want to talk about the drones. And have you followed this at all, or do you have an opinion on it or anything?
A little bit. I think it's much ado about nothing, Mac. From what I've read, it's just airplanes and just hobbyist drones. There's like 1 million registered drones in America, and New Jersey is a very populated state, densely populated state. And there's just a lot of airplanes and a lot of drones flying over New Jersey. I think people are getting spooked over nothing. Sometimes you kind of see hysteria. Back in 1938 in New Jersey, I think it was H.G. Wells did that phony invasion from Mars, War of the Worlds, and everybody in New Jersey freaked out. I think we're seeing it all over again on a probably a smaller scale.
Well, Adam, help me pronounce his name.
Kinzinger.
Kinzinger. And he's part of the administration, is that right?
He's a former U.S. member of the House, a Republican, opposed to Trump, and he's also a veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan wars.
Now, it's very rare that I will allow myself to talk about something I got from CNN, because and by the way, I think Fox and CNN are both on take. I don't think either one of them give us the news the way it really should be, and that's just the facts, man. But this Adam Kinzinger, you say it, confidentially told CNN he has solved the New Jersey drone mystery. Here's what he said. They are literally all airplanes. Apparently, they did that with a heat-seeking camera. You know, sometimes you see on all the fancy TV shows, they'll put on those heat-seeking goggles, and they can see where the heat is. Well, when they did that, they were all airplanes, and their lights were real strong or whatever it was. Tell me what you think about the drone thing. Then I'll give you another opinion of mine.
It's just much ado about nothing. People are getting spooked for nothing. Like Maryland Governor Larry Hogan claimed to have seen some drones, but what he saw was like a constellation in the sky. So I don't know. People just get spooked about crazy stuff from time to time, and this is just one of those times, Mac.
All right, let me let you hear a little bit of the interview from Adam
Kinzinger
and the CNN reporter. Now, I hope I don't get a commercial here. Of course, it's going to load an ad
They're
first.
Called bionic boomers. Seniors once riddled with debilitating arthritis pain, given a new lease on life thanks to doctors.
Let's talk further now with former Congressman Adam Kinzinger. Good to see you, Congressman. So, what do you make of how federal agencies have thus far responded to these sightings so far? Secretary Mayorkas saying, we're looking at them. They pose no national threat at this time. Is enough being said or done to reassure people?
I mean, look, if people don't want to be reassured, then the answer is no. And, look, what I'm hearing from Homeland and what I'm hearing from FBI is we don't see a threat here. And look, honestly, every video I've seen, and I've spent the last couple of days looking at every one of these videos, every video I have seen on Twitter or on the internet are all airplanes. They're literally all airplanes. Some of them will show an airplane that's kind of stable out there and says that's a drone. And actually, it's an airplane flying towards you at 30,000 feet, and I can see the lighting on it. And if there are drones out there, by the way, and if any of these pictures that they have shown are actual drones, these drones then are complying with FAA lighting requirements, a green on the right, a red on the left with a strobe. And so it's not Iran, it's not aliens if there are drones. My guess is if there are drones, again, because again, all I've seen are airplanes, then it is more than likely some company that's out testing drones or something like that and has no requirement to tell the public that they're doing it because they're actually operating these things legally. There have been no accusations of illegal operations. By the way, as a pilot,
Okay, sorry about that. A little dead air there. You don't have a drone.
No, I don't.
You've never flown one.
Never have.
I don't own a drone. I've never flown one. I understand that there are people that are concerned about espionage, especially after that the Biden administration did nothing about that Chinese balloon that floated all the way across America. Some of the conspiracy theorists think it was collecting information as it flew across. It never got shot down. It was never criticized in China, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I think? There's a movie out there called Up, and you should watch it sometime. It is hilarious. It's a cartoon.
Okay.
And it's about an old guy, and he has a great dog. And every once in a while, they're talking about something serious, and the dog goes, "Squirrel." I think that's what the drone thing is. I think there's this shiny object over here called drones, when in fact there's something going on inside of the government, and it may have nothing to do with drones, or the government started doing something when this whole drone thing started, so they could say, "Squirrel." You know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah.
What do you think of that theory?
I don't.
You can throw it out the window.
I don't think there's anything to it. I mean, Trump has full access to the intelligence available to presidents now that he's a president-elect. If something alarming was happening, Trump likes to talk. I think we'd be hearing about it from him, but he's just kind of bloviating and saying nonsensical stuff about the drones. So this is just much ado about nothing. People are bored and they get scared, and it's a bright, shiny object, and there'll be a different bright, shiny object on cable news next week. I don't watch much cable news because it's sensational and not very informative. I tend to get my news from a variety of sources across the internet. I look at stuff from the left, the center, and from the right and try to sift it all out and make some sense of what the heck's going on.
The only thing that I heard that I thought could at least, if it was true, this would make sense. Apparently, there are some suitcase dirty bombs. And one of those has made its way into America. And so these drones were nuclear detectors. What's the detect what in a nuclear bomb? Whatever that is, that's what they were trying to do. But it also kind of sounds like a cartoon, too.
I think it's a cartoon. I don't think there's much to it,
All right. We are going to take our next break, and we are now going to discuss something about the Nebraska legislature. You ran for Congress at one time.
The U.S. House of Representatives, but I didn't run for state legislature.
Yeah. But you've lived in Lincoln and worked in Lincoln all your life.
Correct.
And you have kept up on what's going on in the legislature.
I've followed it pretty closely since 1986. Since I began practicing law as a lawyer, I followed the legislature very closely because the legislature writes laws about civil litigation, and I served on the Nebraska Trial Lawyers Legislative Committee for about 20 years, so I'm pretty familiar with the process and what they're doing and trying to do.
And you actually put something on your blog on Medium, and we can take a look at that. All right, we're going to do that when we come back. I want to thank you for being a part of this show today. It's called Point Counterpoint, and I'm Mac McCoy. My co-host is Dennis Crawford, and thanks for listening. We'll be back in 1 minute.